launched the Horn of Africa initiative 5 years ago in 2019. And at the time we had just 3 development partners. It was the African Development Bank, the World Bank, and the European Union. And today it has grown to 5 development partners as we have welcomed BMZ Germany and FCDO UK. And the portfolio has grown to about $10 billion in total commitment, and this is across the 4 pillars of the Horn of Africa initiative. We are very proud of many achievements in developing infrastructure, improving regional connectivity, and we believe that there have been also some notable highlights, such as really our collective emergency response to improve food security and address the locust crisis. As development partners, we have to continue to learn lessons about how we can better design, prepare, and execute operations in the region, because the region has unique challenges both at the regional, at the national, and at the sub-national levels. And we know that our governments, regional partners like IGAD, are critical to ensuring the success of this operation within the Horn of Africa, because they have the project implementing unit. Honorable Ministers, you implement these projects, and the project life cycle takes place within the ecosystem and at times of our respective government partners. We would like therefore to listen with keen interest to the presentation that has been prepared by the technical teams of all the partners, and also listen to the recommendation for the attentions of the countries and the financiers alike. To this end, I would like to inform you that we've just, the World Bank and the African Development Bank are about to sign an MOU exactly to address a better coordination together, and of course, even more especially with respect to the Horn of Africa initiative. As we listen to the presentation today and we discuss the findings and the recommendation of the Regional Portfolio Performance Review, I would like us to all think of where we can work in our respective areas to improve the portfolio performance and efficiency, in addition to reducing bottlenecks. And I think that in turn, as development partners, we also must continually look at how we can better streamline and enhance efficiency in our operation. And because what we do is more complementarity and collaboration among ourselves. I would like to finish by mentioning the second discussion that we will have today, which will focus on the implementation of the Borderlands Roadmap, which was adopted at the 18th Ministerial Meeting in Addis Ababa in October 2023.
Before launching today's agenda, I would like us to pause and reflect on the plight of millions across the Horn, exposed to natural and man-made disasters. The unfolding tragedy in Sudan continues with no end in sight. An untold number of lives are at stake in concrete and consequential ways, and millions are pushed to the brink of what is undeniably the worst humanitarian tragedy of our time. Sudan's misfortune also has regional implications, particularly the disruption of oil flow from South Sudan. It is a stark reminder of our economic dependence and requires concerted action to stabilize and expand our shared economic landscape. Similarly, recent episodes of drought and damaging floods across the Horn highlight the region's vulnerability to climate-induced disasters and the limitations of our preparedness and response mechanisms. Therefore, today's gathering must affirm our solidarity with those experiencing severe hardships. More importantly, it must also reinforce our determination to act with compassion, courage, and resolve in favor of their recovery and well-being. Dear participants, your in-person attendance at this meeting in such large numbers is a testament to our shared and unwavering commitment to collective action. We assembled today not only to deliberate on the agenda at hand, but also to renew our pledge to the partnership and the objective of sustainable development, economic integration, and regional stability. These ministerial meetings are not mere formalities. They are on which the partnership principles of country ownership and leadership rest. It is therefore fitting that we meet on the margins of African Development Bank's annual meetings to reaffirm the ties that bind us, the strength that lies in our unity, and the progress that stems from our partnership. Honorable Ministers and partners, the Horn of Africa is a region of contrast where challenges are as vast as the potential that lies within our lands and our people. Together, we have the power to transform this potential into tangible prosperity, to enhance the lives of millions through improved infrastructure, economic integration, and proactive measures against the threat of climate change and food insecurity. Yet, due to the scale and complexity of our challenges, many in our region, especially those in the borderlands, still grapple with economic disparity and limited access to basic essential services. It is our shared duty to marshal our responses and the support of our partners to address these disparities. The recent destructive flood that swept across our region demands a renewed focus on climate action and resilience. We must also bolster the management of our water resources and build the resilience of our pastoralist communities against the new normal of recurring droughts and floods. The recent cyclical droughts that affected South Sudan further highlight the imperative of strengthening deep groundwater systems and water management, which could prove pivotal in fostering drought resilience and securing a more stable future. Work has already started on this with the flagship project supported by our development partners. The urgency of scaling up and broadening the scope of such interventions to cover regional water and flood management systems must remain a top priority. We also face the imperative of addressing the economic challenges that loom over our region. Reliance on concessional support is going to be very important. The urgency of debt sustainability discussions and innovative financing solutions are needed, such as debt swaps that we must explore, all critical to easing the resource strain in our economies.
And our purpose this afternoon is clear. It's up there on the board. It's to work together to build a prosperous, integrated and peaceful Horn of Africa. And that is Britain's purpose. Britain's purpose is to assist and support everyone who is after that key objective. And I'm glad to have the opportunity to address such an esteemed group. The UK is committed to building our long-term relationships with you because, as the proverb puts it, if you want to go far, go together. And we know that we are stronger when we join up to bolster our security and strengthen our trade links. And we know too that our unity is vital in the face of challenges and crises like conflict and like climate change. And that is why the Horn of Africa initiative is so valuable as a unique platform with an impressive spirit of cooperation. Britain is honoured to join the initiative in December and more recently to appoint Alison Blackburn as our new special envoy to the region. She will take my seat when I have to go, I'm afraid, during the meeting to another meeting to drive forward the president of the AFDB's private sector initiative. So I hope you will forgive me for that. We already boast strong and long-standing partnerships with many states and organisations here today as we seek to build a more peaceful, stable and prosperous world. And I know that Alison will bring both knowledge and expertise to supporting those efforts in the months to come, including when it comes to today's discussions. Now, I hope this meeting will galvanise our efforts to address the challenges faced in the borderlands. From the menace of violent extremism to conflict and climate shocks, these are the problems that span national borders. A united approach is therefore necessary to resolve them. And Britain is already working closely with members here including through our £15 million programme to build stability and end the scourge of Al-Shabaab in the border areas between Kenya, Somalia and Ethiopia. We stand ready to support the implementation of the Borderlands Roadmap, which will take a concerted effort from development partners and from ministers alike. I'm so grateful to Kenya for the new paper on social cohesion in the border areas, of which we shall discuss the preliminary findings in more detail a bit later. Britain was glad to offer technical assistance and endorses the case made so persuasively to scale up investment in marginalised borderland communities. We must also ensure that we give local leaders, communities and individuals a voice in shaping those solutions, because it is, of course, in their hands to deliver them. And let me end by saying that I'm heartened by this gathering today. The fact we are all here in the same room, despite challenges across the region, demonstrates the spirit of commitment and cooperation that characterises this initiative. And I look forward to hearing the outcome of today's discussions and wish you all the very best for an engaging and productive evening.